Portugal, there's a YouTube show full of fun facts you need to know.
Hola, bon dia, alegria. Munson here with Good Morning Portugal show, the live stream, the podcast, and of course the Portugal Club, where we will go. And we'll say hello to a few new members, actually. Nice little surge of membership just recently, including Duncan. Remember Duncan yesterday, Duncan Gardner, who gave us his community guide to starting or dabbling in solar and alternative energy. That's there at the Portugal Club for your perusal and to download. And I know a couple of gumpers have been straight on that, what's the kindest? On it like a gin and tonic. I'm going to go with that, so as not to cause offence to any disadvantaged people in our society, which we all are from time to time, are we not? How are you this morning? Talking to which, to the bank, how much do let me know in the chat. Seems like a quiet one. Chris, Mel, and Pete are there. I know others are watching, and I also realise that it's getting harder and harder to get up in the morning, I would say. It's colder, it's darker, it's certainly flipping wetter as well. That rain continues here on the Silver Coast. Quite extraordinary, actually. Should we do a little bit of picture clearance as well? I can't. Oh, that was Gary from yesterday. Great to chat to Gary, and we had a lovely further chat with Joe Santos from Vencer Autismo. Lovely chat with him at the unusually timed 9:05 Positive Echo show yesterday. Great to chat with you, Joe, and looking forward to talking with you again. Lots to share with you, actually, on the picture deck, potentially. There's a news. I thought this was a wind-up when I first heard about it. A €7 note. What's that all about? We'll take a look at that in a little while. I've got to find them now. I've loaded them up somewhere. And talking of membership over at the Portugal Club, the leaderboard has changed as well in terms of contribution. Yeah, all sorts of memes and maps actually to share with you this morning. Just trying to find them now. So much on my bulging desktop and sack here of mail, that is. Oh, yeah, this one caught my eye. Random acts of kindness. We do talk about that here on the show, don't we? Here's one for you. I like to, not me, this doesn't apply to me, but you might like to share this with somebody else in your house. I like to practice random acts of kindness by not talking to anyone in the morning. Yep, that's actually can be a very charitable act. Although I think I'm probably the noisy one among groups of people first thing in the morning. Really, if you like a quiet start to the morning, you probably shouldn't be watching the Good Morning Portugal show from 8 to 9 every weekday morning. Although I could try and whisper a little and make it a bit easier on the ear. The comments are now on stage. If you want to post something up, you'll see your comments going straight up onto the stage. Morning, Chris. How you doing? Bon dia to you, Mel, as well, and to Pete, and to Sarah, who's just joined us as well. Should we have a little look at that Portugal citizenship test question then, before we look at also favoured professions here in Portugal, apparently, according to one of these meme things. Podcasting milestones. I turned my back, just kept chugging away, making podcasts, and I've surpassed the 2,000 mark very easily. We've published 2,500 podcast episodes, and we used Spreaker. It's a great platform, actually. That's what we've put the Portugal Resident podcast on as well. Alistair Leithhead's interview was released yesterday, of course, and Spotify. Spotify is a good place to get the new Resident podcast. But yeah, we've got some great podcasting milestones to celebrate. Alternative medications here in Portugal as well. What Brits should do coming into immigration here in Portugal. And what's this one as well? Oh, Portuguese word of the year as well. I'll take that off the screen and I'll leave you guessing. What do you think might be Portuguese word of the year? Oh, and lovely guests as well. You may have seen on the opening titles a bottle of Head and Shoulders, a little in-joke between me and Paul Richards, who hasn't been on the show, he tells me, for 5 years, which actually tells me two things. How rude of me not to have invited him back in that time. Also, isn't it amazing? We have been going for 5 years. Well, way over 5 years, actually. We started, in earnest, around COVID outbreak time in March, April of 2020, and here we are going into 2026 on the verge, some might say the precipice of 2026. And actually, I have to say, a similar kind of vibe in the air as well as those COVIDian times too. We'll be here for you. We'll be here for each other, I suspect, in what's going to be a bumpy few years. Bon dia, gang. Any stories today, Chris? Yeah, come on, Chris. He was a bit tight, wasn't he, yesterday, with his description of what was going on. We do like your modern day Dickensian insights from His Majesty's public transport in the UK there. Chris, do let us know. Capricorn Chronicle will be nice this morning. And a video. We'd like to finish with one of your videos too. When you finally get to work and it's safe to breathe the fresh air of London, well, the fresh air of London. I suppose, yeah, you were saying, weren't you? ULEZ has done a little bit to sweeten the air. Are there other ways of doing that rather than pricing people out of the city? I wonder how it works in other places around the world. Bon dia, gang. Yeah, any stories, Chris? Well, Jackie is asking you, Chris, what's happening on the tube this morning? We take great comfort in you taking that bullet for us, Chris. And hola, bon dia from Peda. How you doing, Peda? Maybe see you this evening. What is the Expats Portugal webinar? Great fun last week. We were talking to Jimmy, weren't we, about changing utility suppliers. He'll take care of all of that for you. Although I have to say, I very successfully changed my Vodafone from Mayo to Vodafone. We'll see how that pans out next Tuesday. But one of the great things about it was I was able to do that entirely as a Portuguese conversation. Should you import your vehicle to Portugal tonight? That's December the 4th, of course. There is a Golden Visa webinar earlier on in the evening. And, of course, we'll have the premium lounge for all the members to hang out. So maybe see you there tonight, Peda. Should you import your vehicle to Portugal? Costs, rules, and insider advice. How rude of me. Maybe I should share this on the screen with you. Probably not for people who are already here in Portugal. This more for people who are thinking of coming here and bringing their cherished, prized, and beloved vehicles. Should you import your vehicle to Portugal? Looking at the costs, the rules, and the insider advice tonight, with an expert from GIR, Global International Relocation. We'll be talking to Israel Gonzalez this evening, thinking about bringing your car, motorcycle, or RV to Portugal. Yeah, so not just cars, motorbikes, and those rather challenging RVs as well, with vehicle prices in Portugal among the highest in Europe, in case you needed a reminder about that. Many expats wonder if importing is the smarter choice. Some of them don't wonder for very long when they find out what the costs are, but it depends how attached you are and on the specifics of your vehicle, as we will find out this evening. If you're not a premium member, you can join that at a one-off price of €17. Otherwise, if you are a premium member, you'll be welcome there and you'll get priority asking questions, and then we'll hang out together in the premium lounge. So, all about importing your vehicle to Portugal tonight with GIR. Morning, Lee. Good to see you. And ULEZ, I thought there are certain trigger words, are there not? Brexit, ULEZ, etc., Donald Trump. ULEZ isn't about clean air. It's about raising revenue. It's a massive con, says Dougie. Good morning to you, Doug. And thank you for alerting me to your piece in the Portugal news about Portuguese wine as well. That was great to see. And thank you suggesting that we were partly responsible, as well as the Good Morning Portugal Wine Club. That's also something that's been going since the pandemic days. And we had such a giggle. Included in the conversation from Monday evening, in case you haven't seen it, were 6-inch probes, tools in hand, and plums, ripe plums in the mouth. Were just some of the wine-related... What did you think I was talking about? Some of the wine-related comments that had Gary giggling in a very immature way, I have to say. Paul Richards joining us. Yes, guest this morning. Paul Richards will be joining us in about 10 minutes. Joining us from the Algarve. Yeah, and I mentioned the reason why there's Head and Shoulders on the show thumbnail is because I asked Paul if he would send me a Head and Shoulders shot. He sent me a variety of interesting pictures, and in the end, I just used a pack shot of Head and Shoulders. A nice motor, Paul. We'll ask you about that as well when you join us. And was that a Tam O'Shanter you were wearing in the other picture as well? I think possibly from your incredible mountain rescue days, which I think, you've got an amazing past and history. You might be able to talk about that, as well as your couple of recent visits to AIMA. So first-hand experience of dealing with AIMA. If you're tuning in for that, Paul will be with us in about 10 minutes. And at around 8:45, Nick will be back. Nick Burrell, Maybe he'll have another video for us. It's Bandcamp Friday tomorrow, I believe, 5th of December. So if you do support artists on Bandcamp, I think you can get a bit of a deal as well tomorrow over at Bandcamp. A good day to support artists, independent artists on Bandcamp tomorrow. And I'm sure we'll talk a little bit more with that about that with Nick when he joins us later on. Matty's here now. Bon dia alegria. It's definitely harder getting out of bed, isn't it? It's, at the moment. Bon dia alegria. Although Paul looks like he's been up doing yoga and meditation since about 6 this morning. No. Bon dia alegria a todos. Feliz quinta-feira. Domingo quinta. Maybe he hasn't slept at all. Maybe he's been out at the casinos of Portimao overnight and he's just come back to squeeze us into his busy schedule. Morning, Lee, Matty, and Jackie. The lives of the rich and famous, eh? Pete's, yes, greetings to you, Lee, Matty, and Jackie. How you doing, Lee? We haven't had you on the show for a little while with a traffic report on the bridge there and a bit of gardening news. You're always welcome, you know. Bon dia, things went a bit to cock, didn't they, over the summer? And then we didn't see you again, really, after that. Bon dia, we brought ours over, and it clearly hasn't wanted to come as it's given up on us. It's sad, that, isn't it, when you bring your vehicle over and you think, what do I do with it now? How are your fingers, Nina? And how many fingers did you break exactly in the concrete mixer? My goodness. My back's still a bit twingy, but the meds are kicking in. Interesting about the car imports, I am bringing my own car on a temporary basis, probably best that way. The only problem is I will need to take it back for an MOT regularly. Yes, you will, won't you? And there's probably an MOT garage at the Plymouth that does MOTs for people who drive back just for that purpose and then get back on the Santander ferry a little bit later on, or various ferry ports will have MOT stations with people who live in Europe just popping back to do an MOT. I suspect that's what goes on. It's amazing, isn't it, how ingenious humans are and the supply chains and the evolutions that they create with all their different basic needs. Is that what you're going to be doing, Dougie? Right, before I forget then, and I think Paul will be fine with this, it is a Portuguese citizenship test question, hailing from the Algarve, fluent as he is in Portuguese and with a major grip on Portuguese culture. Let's see how he gets on with this morning. We're going to citizenship test question. Oh, no, we're not. Yes, we are. Citizenship test question 68. We've moved on from 6767, everybody, and now we're on to 6868. And don't forget that Portuguese word of the year. It isn't 6-7. It isn't seixet. It is something entirely different and commemorates a particularly memorable moment in the Portuguese calendar. One of the as we look back, as people tend to, with the although programs dedicated to looking back at the year that's just gone must be getting longer and longer. These years are so packed and so busy with crazy things happening. And the word of the year in Portugal definitely commemorates one of those crazy things that happened. Portuguese citizenship test question 68. Then, what is the name of the sweet layered cake from the Algarve? Also sounds like a gangster, to give you a clue there. Is it A, the Dom Rodrigo, who does sound like a character in an Algarve restaurant, who sits at one of those rooms with his mates just off to one side, and you look through, and if people could still smoke in restaurants, and some still do, I notice, there he would be in a cloud and a plume of smoke, surrounded by his buddies in one of the private dining rooms. Is it the Dom Rodrigo? Is it the Bolloré? Now, we can approach this from a process of elimination. That's a clue for you. Is it B, the Bolloré, or is it C, the Pau de Lo? I know that for a fact the Pau de Lo originates from near me, and I do not live in the Algarve. So what are you going to go for here? You're going for A, the Dom Rodrigo, B, the Bolloré, or C, the Pau de Lo? Pau de Lo, yes or no? Do you like that cake that looks like it needs another 20 minutes? In the oven, basically. Leaderboards then over at the Portugal Club. Let's have a look at this. Kate Bygrave, who doesn't appear to be here yet from Tomare, has stormed to the top of the leaderboard over at the Portugal Club. Look at that. Knocking Antonio F off the top spot there, although he's always hovering around. Look at his leaderboard. All-time contributions. He's into four figures over there. He's such a legend. So he is the 30-day rosette holder, as it were, the all-time leader. But Kate has been giving him a run for his money in these last few days. The 7-day leader, then Kate, followed by Antonio F, followed by Bairandi. And nice to see other new names there. Lisa, Anna, and Anouk are fairly recent to the party as well. And if we go over to where the members are, let me tell you a little bit about some of the people who've just joined us. Duncan Gardner's with us, of course, Kiwi/UK, living in central Portugal, and the author of our community guide to solar and alternative power, which you can download as of yesterday at the Portugal Club. Sergio Fagundes has joined us as well, Portuguese mortgage advisor. So if you'd like to talk one-to-one, man-to-man, woman-to-man, as it were, with a little bit of clear, independent guidance on finding the right home loan, he moves among us at the Portugal Club. Maria Grace just joined us as well from over Al Viagra way, where the Austins are. Anna Alcott, who was with us on the show last week, now retired in Albufeira, with Kat Pumpkin, a writer and poet, of course. She's new to the gang as well. And Kelvin James, not heard much from Kelvin. Marina Anouk, yes, just recent members there. So notably then, new a mortgage advisor in our midst over there, if you want a little bit of advice about financing a property purchase. I wonder what Paul thinks of what's going to happen with the property market. There's all sorts of things. We've got some catching up to do, Paul, especially if you haven't been on the show for the last 5 years. Things have changed a little bit, haven't they? In that time, we got some catching up to do this morning. A few more memes and maps until you do join us. And mentions here, Pete wouldn't recommend bringing a car over, especially as you're on the wrong side for the critical swerve from the centre of the road, and obviously car parks, drives. Yes, you do. You can regret bringing your motor over if it's a right-hand drive. When you get to the ticket barrier and you have to get out unceremoniously in front of a queue of people who also want to exit the car park, tolls, etc. Yeah, a windy and rainy night on the toll, you got to get out and get round, or trust your passenger to do it, or the hitchhiker you've picked up along the way, eh, Matty? Bon dia, Pete from Welsh Jackie, and one broken finger and a swollen, bruised hand of Frankenstein. Picture? No, don't send pictures. Can if you like. 913-590-303. Arnica, of course, on that. Our Portuguese mechanic yesterday told us he hates working on English cars as they are always so rusted in the engine. Money pit either way. There you go. Lord Travanca, all rise this morning for Lord Travanca. Ola bon dia from Lord and Lady Travanca from Gothenburg in Sweden. Come on, you got to send us a picture. 913-590-303. If only of the buffet. Barak, good morning to you, Lord and Lady Travanca there. Henry and Nina, I had to get a replacement engine for my Ford Transit Connect in July. All went well. And it was below, you say it went well, but it was still around €1,500, including engine and labour. Perhaps that would have been a bit more expensive in the Netherlands or Germany. Right, pickies then. And a few things that caught my attention, including, I don't know if this is, are we going to see this in common currency? What do you think of this? I do like the colours. This is the new €7, the €7 note. That has been created by the. Well, thank you for Frank, to Frank, for bringing this to our attention as well. Well deserved. A United legend, as in Manchester United, one of the greats of our time. Portugal's central bank, the Banco de Portugal, news that has made it to the UK on the Facebook of when Saturday comes. The Portuguese central bank, Banco de Portugal, has revealed plans to release a special €7 note before the 2026 World Cup, celebrating the nation's all-time greatest player, the GOAT, Cristiano CR7. The design is stunning, they say. A little bit better than his statue. It's a little bit more obvious that it's him than his statue at Madeira Airport, which caused some controversy. I mean, it's clearly him. Who else would they be celebrating over there of that sort of ballpark age group? But that's a somewhat better likeness. I guess you have a little more artistic license, don't you, when you're a sculptor? But there it is, the €7 note. Will that be a collector's item, or will that be going into the wallets and purses of everyday folk, giving them a new kind of maths to do at the store? It's very strange, that, isn't it? It's counterintuitive. We've grown up with notes of rounded numbers. The €2 is a bit odd, isn't it? But they're very collectible. And apparently, on the matter of the €2 coin, I should say, they are worth more than their face value, apparently, because of the metals that are used. How much more, I don't know. And I don't think you'll be able to retire on it, depending on how many €2 coins you can afford. But there you go, the €7 note to go alongside the €2 coin of eccentric, non-rounded numbers there. Would have been it'd been much weirder if it had been a 777 euros, wouldn't it? Which is doable. I mean, I guess a national bank or the reserve, the central bank of any country can produce whatever it wants, clearly, and as much of it as it wants. It would appear as well. Podcast news as well. Then let me just show you this. Sorry, it's a little bit information rich on your screen there. Let me decode that. We've reached over 250,000 downloads of the Good Morning Portugal podcast. It's the quiet part of the endeavor, really. Just the podcast being downloaded quietly around the world, all over the world, United States, Canada, Portugal. Of course, people still, once they've moved here, preferring to listen to it at their leisure on the podcast. And we are edging our way to 500,000 downloads. We're much closer to 500,000 than we are 250,000, which is great to be able to report. 2,531 episodes published. Yeah, look, top left-hand corner, 495,000 podcast downloads. So not long till we get to 500,000 then with that. So thank you to each and every one of you over at the podcast for being kind enough to subscribe and having that downloaded to your podcast in tray every day. Thank you very much for that. The professions then, when we brought this to your attention before, young people wanted to become YouTube influencers. Why they would want to enjoy that pittance, I do not know. But anyway, it turns out people want to be product. Sorry, I'm suddenly aware of the time. Let me crack on with this. Product tester is the big job that people want to go for, apparently, in Portugal. I've never heard of that before. But product tester, that's another hard meme to look at first thing in the morning, isn't it? Where are my glasses? Too late, I'm taking it off. And just to put you out of your misery on the Portuguese word of the year, it is the apagão, which of course means blackout. We learned about brownouts yesterday with Duncan. Blackout, apagão has been voted as word of the year 2025 by almost half of the participants in the initiative promoted by Porto Editora. There might have only been 2 or 3 people taking part. I don't know. But there it is. Word of the year for 2025, blackout, apagão. Let's give him a nice big round of applause and bring him onto the screen. So sorry to keep you, Paul Richards.
No problem.
Hola, bon dia. Is that the tree up already behind you?
Yeah, we've got the Christmas tree already. Yeah, it's not got its fancy things on yet, but yeah, we got it the other day, and we're looking forward to Christmas.
How lovely. Good work, Susan, possibly on that?
A little bit of 90% Susan, 10% Paul, I think, would be the answer.
Yes, maybe you applied the fairy, or maybe that's coming at the weekend. The topping out with the fairy. Do you wait until the 1st of December, or are you like the Portuguese? You beginning your Christmas preparations around August time?
No, we still got the English part of us still in us, and I think it's when you can get the trees here. We go to the same place every year, famous Apollonia. And it's when they start stocking their trees in, and we go get them. But they go so fast, it's unbelievable,
It's a real tree, is it?
Oh, it's absolutely a real tree, yeah, absolutely.
Okay, yeah. Very good, very good. So yes, I guess catering for the Brits in the Algarve who like to have a real tree there and love to be hoovering up not noodles. That's a strange Christmas if you're hoovering up noodles, but hoovering up needles between now and possibly the 6th of January. What do you do with it afterwards, if you don't mind me asking? Do you shred it?
Unfortunately, it's in the Algarve, which is the same everywhere else in Portugal. We put it outside, and the water board come and collect it free of charge.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
The dumpster, the refuse collection here, when you're used to being fined for putting your wheelie bin out on the wrong day, or with further than 100 meters from your house, or some strange bylaw like that in the UK, it's amazing to note that Portuguese people just chuck anything in or near the dumpster, and they'll come and get it, won't they?
Well, it's not quite like that. They have changed the rules here.
Have they?
Before you put anything, and we talk about green things here, and things from the garden, not rubbish. You have to make an appointment, and then you get permission to put it outside your house, and then they come and collect it, which is wonderful. Which we're paying for it indirectly, of course, but the system does work, and it's very efficient.
Even better if you're a renter, because of course those costs are paid by the homeowner, aren't they, and not the renter with the council tax business here.
Yes, that's true. Yes.
Very good. How are you, Paul? It's been a while. We've got some catching up to do. You say you were last on the show in 2020, is that right?
Yeah, I was in Harrogate when I first started talking to you. We'd been in Portugal for just for winters only for 4 months at a time
Oh.
in Albufeira, near Albufeira, San Rafael. But when our dear Brexit came along, of course, that stopped us being able to do that. So we
Hold on a
jumped
minute.
on the
I've got something for that.
it
I've
was
got
time.
something
It
for
was
that.
time to come and live in.
Sorry, a bit slow on that, but whenever Brexit's mentioned, we do have to alert people to that, Paul, for future reference.
Yeah, well, it was a problem, wasn't it?
Was it remains so for many. Okay, so that was a milestone for you then. So when Brexit came, what, you decided to jump?
Yeah, I mean, it's not just Brexit. I mean, you look at life in general, and the timing was right for us to say, right, it's time we get into that age where we need to enjoy ourselves and walk away from work, and everything sort of fell in place basically. And so we came here and we bought a property, and we've been here ever since.
How lovely. How lovely.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been wonderful to sort of touch base with you. I know you haven't been on the show, but we have kept in touch one way or another, and we bumped into each other even, haven't we, over at Salir de Porto on the other side of the bay here. You do occasionally get out of the Algarve, but what's it been like to be here for 5 years? We will talk specifically about your AIMA visits and renewals, because that's what this is mainly about this morning, but good to catch up with you. How's your life been in this last 5 years in Portugal? Enjoying it, I presume?
Yes, I mean, I think for anybody who's made the decision to come and live abroad, be it Portugal or anywhere else, it's a big decision. And there are a lot of things that you don't consider, although you do a checklist. There's things that never even enter your head once you go there. But I think in general, people are very brave to do this,
Yeah.
but do it. If you don't do it, you'll regret it. That's my answer to the question. What's happened in Portugal in the last 5 years? Well, house prices have gone crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, I've never seen, since COVID, the jump has been just ridiculous, to be honest with you. They're no longer value for money.
That's interesting, isn't it? Where do you think this is going? I saw you get your body language behind the scenes when I said, where's this all going with property? What's the prognosis from your point of view?
Well, I regularly look at Idealista and I look at house prices. I do that probably an hour a day on a computer.
Do you?
I do, because I have an interest in that.
Yeah.
And I look at the prices and I shake my head and say, are they crazy? They can't possibly be asking that. And I go about 2 weeks later and the thing's sold.
Yeah.
So yes, they are selling.
Yeah.
I think the market's sort of gone off a little bit, especially on the over $1 million. That's slowed down. But the 400 to 500,000 mark, that is selling so fast. There is not enough properties. But in general, I'm talking about the Algarve. I mean, I look all over the whole of Portugal, and I look at what you get for your money in the north of Portugal compared to down here is just unbelievable. It's unbelievable. Yeah. The difference is it's black and white. It's as simple as that.
Yeah. Very interesting. And where do you think this is going? I mean, people
well, we keep saying it's peaked. It's got to peak, but it doesn't, because I think Portugal's been a victim of its own success in that people are wanting to come here and going on to the AIMA thing. This is why there's such a problem, really, because the demand to live in Portugal is so high that, the demand for property is there too. So it will continue to go up. At the worst, what will happen, it will stay as it is. It will never, never go down. And it's the properties that are in the prime positions, in good condition, that sell literally within a month.
There's definitely a shortage of those attractive sort of prime assets, isn't there? There's a lot of empty property, of course, but those.
I think that not in the Algarve, it's not, no? Unless it's in I mean, when you go to look at a property, there are 3 rules. Is it legal? Because this is a big problem. Oh, yeah, you get a permit for your swimming pool next week, no problem. But don't
worry about that. Yep.
Yeah, all that story. Who's going to live next door? Is it going to be a blooming party place?
Abattoir.
Is it, is the condition of the property? Because getting work done in Portugal ain't no pleasure, I can assure you.
All right. So, make sure it's legal. Check out the planning and maybe move into somewhere that's nearly finished so you don't have too much work to do.
And never believe a word that the estate agent tells you.
Well, that's the same the world over, isn't it? I mean, unless you
Yes,
find yourself a nice,
absolutely.
trustworthy buyer's agent. I mean, and such people do exist, but I guess they are more the exception than the rule, right?
I think there are people who are genuinely trying to help people, but it's
Yeah.
finding them. It's finding them. You know, I mean, you shouldn't have to pay to try and buy a house. In my opinion, you should use your brain.
Mhm.
You
Yes,
know, you're
indeed.
spending the biggest part of your income in your life, so get it right. You know, don't
Well, yeah,
believe what you say.
your
Go to
biggest.
the camera and get the information yourself.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, and before we move on then to IMA and renewals and so on, because you post Brexit, you had to do all of that sort of stuff. Motors, we've got fellow petrol heads here. We've got Dougie, who's pleased to see you as well this morning, and Anna, friends from down in the Algarve. Look, long time no see, Mr. Richards. Regards to Mrs. Richards there, to Susan, and bon dia Dora. Hi, Anna. Good to see you. Bon dia from Anna. Is your YouTube handle there. Great to see you, Paul. And while we're talking to the Swede in Portugal, who actually might not be in Portugal at the moment, there's Gothenburg, where Lord Barak, Lord Travanca is. Lord and Lady Travanca are over there at the moment enjoying Sweden. You been to Sweden, Paul, on your skiing trips ever?
No, not to Sweden. I've been to Norway, but not
Yeah.
Sweden. No, in Sweden they're more what we call walking skiing as opposed to downhill skiing. It's slightly different there.
Okay. Yeah. And were you tempted at all seeing the snow on the Serra da Estrela to strap your planks on and get up there yesterday?
In one word, no.
Okay, fair enough. So
I've had that T-shirt, so no.
yeah, been there, done that.
It's gone. I like
Yeah.
the sun, not the snow now.
Very good, very good. So yes, cars then for fellow petrolhead and others here, Dougie. What have you been driving and what have you been enjoying on the roads here in Portugal? Because I know you love your motor.
Well, I have two cars. One is what I use all the time, which is my beautiful Merc.
Yeah.
The four-wheel drive SUV thing, which I use from day to day. And then I have my little toy, my little Porsche, which I hardly use. It's 4 years old and it's done 8,000 kilometers.
So that's a Sunday, is it? Top down, maybe pop
Sunday or special occasions, yeah. Otherwise, it doesn't become the treat that I bought it for. It's the top.
And as a careful Yorkshireman, and I'm sure you don't mind me referring to you as that, a canny Yorkshireman, with the some of the toll roads are now free in the Algarve. That's got even better for you, isn't it? Going out for a Sunday,
A22, right? Which is our main artery, is completely free at the moment, because as you are aware, it has been bought privately. And I don't think they're, in their goodness of their heart, they're going to continue letting it be free, because
nobody who buys a toll road is doing that for charity, are they?
No way.
Greg and Amy, good morning to you. Lovely to see you here. Oh, and we've got a pronunciation check from a German here. Not Porsche, but Porsche, Paul.
He's absolutely right.
He is right, isn't he? But yeah, I mean, we're English, so we say things the English way. Otherwise, we can sound a little bit pretentious, can't we? If you want a real estate agent, you can believe work with Christopher Kirby Higgs. Yes, of course, my colleague from the agency there. Right, real life, first person testimony of dealing with AIMA. How's that been for you?
I think everybody would agree. It's not easy.
No.
And in fairness to AIMA, they're overloaded, they're undertrained, they're underpaid, and I don't blame AIMA. I blame the government. They're not helping them.
Yeah.
And it's like trying to climb Everest in a swimming suit. It's impossible. It really is. That's my analogy of it.
Yeah.
And the problem is that the people you go to see when you eventually get your appointment, they're just there to take your details. They can't make any decisions, and it goes to Lisbon. Mm-hmm. And what I think has happened is because of the complaints that have gone on, which is now the complaints list is now bigger than the applications.
Yeah.
They just kick the can down the road, and they've taken money from us. They've taken the 180 euros, whatever it is. And to be honest with you, I'm no further. I had my appointment in September. Nothing since then. My wife was even worse. We did them at the same times. And we got a letter yesterday saying, oh, you've been refused, this, that, and the other, and you've 10 days. Otherwise, we're not going to renew your biometric card. which was quite a shock,
Really?
to be honest with
Yeah,
you.
I bet. Yeah.
What?
Sounds
And
quite.
they had all the information. We've given them all the information. But the other problem we find is that there's no stability in who you go see. The system, the training is so bad. You can
Yeah.
go to one mission control, as they call it, and they are wonderful. They know exactly what they're doing. You can be in and out in 15 minutes. That's what happened to me.
They
Perfect.
call it mission.
Wonderful.
They actually call it mission control.
Yeah, that's what they call it. Yeah, that's the new name. Yeah, yeah.
Right, Lisbon, we have a problem. Right,
Yeah,
okay.
exactly. Yeah, they have a big problem.
They do, and it's very sort of compassionate of you. I appreciate that. They are. It's not their fault in many ways, is it? And can you imagine what the morale must be like to know that you've got more complaints and lawsuits building up every day, and just people are just not satisfied. They're unlikely to be. That must be a horrible place and condition to work under.
It can be, but I mean, how can it be possible that if you live in the Algarve, you get an appointment in Braga?
Yeah,
I mean,
that doesn't make
that
sense.
is just ridiculous.
Yeah,
And there was a story on the internet where that one guy, he went 3 times up there. So he's overnight accommodation, cost of everything. And every time he went, oh, no, sorry, or we closed, or it's holiday, or an excuse.
Yeah.
Well,
There's
I think
a why in the day. Yes. Yeah.
under those circumstances, that AIMA should be liable. They should pay the cost because it's their mistake, not his.
But can you imagine making an expenses claim? That's not going to come through anytime soon either, is it?
Well, maybe in 5 years.
Yes, exactly. But you'll forget all about it, and then you get a nice little Prato de Dia bonus in 5 years' time from now. So, what's your recommendation to people then? What would you say to people who are inevitably in this same situation? You seem quite calm about it.
Well, I think after living here as long as I have, I think you just get used to the system, and you have to be patient. You must get the paperwork right, and you must look at your emails, look at the waste bin, because sometimes the information goes to the wrong place, even though they send it to the email that you've given them. It can go in the waste basket, and you don't see it, and you've got it's all time restricted, and if you don't reply in that time, you've lost the slot, you've lost everything. So it kicks off again. And I think the system's not working as it should do. And I think it's down to the training, it's down to the lack of staff, as I said, but it should be standardized when you go into somewhere. I mean, the example that we got with my wife, we got the list of what you have to bring. And they'd had this already on the portal. And when we get, oh, well, where's your this? Well, you didn't ask for that. Oh, well, that's it now. We need this. Oh, but we'll let you know. And there's no standardization. The system should be the same. Wherever you go to an AIMA appointment, the questions should be the same, and they should be able to have that authority to say, yeah, that's okay. There's no problem. It'll be put through. But the people who you see do not have that qualification or knowledge.
Yeah, I think I talked to Gilda of EI, a frontline lawyer with this, of course, and she says they are trying to standardize. And the part of the problem that's been caused, it's been like, 2 steps forward, 1 step back. They have recruited people, and the new recruits, because they don't have any discretion to exercise, are working according to checklists. And that's when you get that awful computer says no problem, right? Where you think you've got the right thing, and they're new in the job, and they've been told a very specific thing that they've got to have, so they'll say no to you, right?
Well, I mean, you do ask the question, when do you think I'll get my biometric card? And my answer from the one that I spoke to was, 4 months. Well, that was 5 months ago. When my wife went to another different one, she was 7 months.
Really?
7 months to make a plastic card. Come on.
That doesn't make any sense whatsoever, does it? If it was Finances, they would be doing that. You'd have
Well,
your
the taxman wants it the next day.
Yeah, absolutely, and then fines and interest on top of that. Yeah, it's a difficult situation. Do you see it improving anytime soon?
Not unless I spend some money. I mean,
right.
I know I shouldn't say this, but my wife was so upset by what had happened, because I don't think the people at AIMA realise the stress that this brings to people. We spent a lot of money here, we're living here, we're paying taxes, and we may get kicked out.
Yeah.
And that is a real concern for some people. Plus, the older generation, they don't know how to do a computer. They don't know how to do all this complicated thing. Okay, they can go pay, but they're on a limited budget, so they can't afford to pay an expert to do that.
Yeah,
And there's nobody you can ring up and say, can you help me? You can't speak to AIMA. You can't. They don't answer emails. The system is broken. It is broken.
Yeah.
Nobody seems to care. That's the problem. Nobody seems to care.
Maybe they're sort of past caring, I suppose, aren't they? That's the problem. They're so demoralised that is just become the new normal in that department of the government. And I guess we do need a sort of financer style wave into it, don't we? Or a new broom that says, look, this means money. If you get all these people regularised, as people say in Portugal, they're paying taxes. They'll feel, it will change people's confidence and ideas about Portugal. It will be a good spend of the money you're talking about, I think, Paul.
Well, there are companies who want to come into Portugal, and they're just brushed away. They just send me an email, and Tig was on about this the other day on your show. And the guy wanted to spend 11 million to bring a company, and he was just brushed away. It doesn't go. Send me an email.
Yes.
I mean, what sort of system is that?
It doesn't make much sense, does it? That shows a great level of complacency and demoralisation and stupidity, you might say, if that is absolutely true. If that's not like a story that's degenerated as it's got to our ears, but I can believe it happened. For sure. Andy Andero would like some help here. Hola, bon dia, Malta. Not sure if we should beach, walk or cycle. You decide. These are the decisions retirees have to make. It's not easy, is it, being retired here in Portugal and enjoying the wonderful lifestyle? But there you go. If you can help him, he'd be grateful, I think. What would you recommend there, Paul? Beach, walk or cycle?
I'd recommend going to the bar.
The beach, probably. The walking and the cycling sounds like hard work, doesn't it?
Yeah, no, it's not for me. No. Although it's fairly flat here, but it's still not for me. No. Good luck to them. Everybody's got a free choice, yeah.
Good luck to them. Very good. What did you think of this then as an Algarvian? Is that how you refer to yourself? The name of the sweet layered cake, which is it? The Dom Rodrigo, the Bolloré, or the Pau de Lo? What did you think of that?
I won't have a clue.
Okay, thank you. That's very honest. I think
listen, you come to live in the Algarve not to learn Portuguese, to learn English. That's the common saying here.
Is that right?
Sadly.
Oh my goodness! Right. Oh, the last time we spoke to you, I think you had those were they called ear kettles that were simultaneous translation?
Yeah.
How did that go?
Forget it. Don't worry.
Okay, fair enough.
But with technology, it will improve. It will get better. So in time, yes, yeah.
All right, in time. The ticket barrier is a pain. This is talking about right-hand drives, of course. Not too bad in Portugal with the bleepy transponder. That's probably the best bet, isn't it? You get your Via Verde, then you won't have to get out. Not difficult to annoy French drivers, however. Yes, there was a language meme going around of a similar kind as well, which I'll bring to your attention in the coming days. Quintanon Dragos Mati from Nina there. Yes, we're looking into that, although 3K mooted and we need to source the engine from the UK apparently. Anyone needs spares or repairs? What is it? Let us know what it is. Was it a big Mitsubishi that you brought over that's got a few spares? I mean, that'll be a Japanese car will be spares rich, will it not? Here, Matty, my friend, went to a local Portuguese mechanic and to his surprise found that it had taken out and replaced his engine without informing him at all. Well, probably only cost 500 quid or something, and probably a lot cheaper from his country of origin. I can send you the link to the place I bought the engine from in Fundão there. Send me a PM. That's to you, Nina. Very good. And you needed a 199 note to go to Woolworths. Is that right? I can't remember that. Although it was very good value. Whenever you talk about the blackout, Paul, you always get these alternative energy gloaters here, these off-grid gloaters. Have you invested at all in solar or anything off the grid?
No, I'll be honest with you, compared to the UK, our utility bills, we think are very, very cheap.
Okay.
And for us, it's just not worthwhile to spend the 10,000 euros or whatever it is to fit it. It doesn't stack up money-wise.
Yeah, fair enough. But although with the guide we got from Duncan yesterday, that is making it more affordable all the time. Question for you, not to do with AIMA and migration, but what Porsche have you got? The 911, the 944, the Boxer, the Cayman, or the Macan?
No, I've got the 4C2 and I've got the Paramera, whatever they call it, 4S, whatever. It's the one that you can get 4 people in with four doors. So that suits me.
Is it electric or gas?
It's both. It's electric and petrol, and it's self-charging, so I don't have to stand at a pump if I run out of fuel or look anywhere. And it's remarkable on fuel consumption. They say it does about 50, in old school terms, it does about 50 to the gallon, which to me, for a car that weighs over 2 ton, is incredible.
Did you ever think you would be driving a newfangled Porsche like that, or did you think you would be petrol all the way?
I've always been a diesel man, to be honest with you.
Yeah. Okay.
And I still, Merc's a diesel, and I still think it's a government thing. They make the public buy one particular car to pay the tax, and then when they've saturated that market, they say, right, no, those are no good anymore. You now need this, so everybody has to move then to the other one to pay more tax to buy new cars. That's what it's about. It's not about this green thing at all.
You see through so many ruses, don't you? Pan America, nice car. Plus, they only turn the lights back on and the dust balls stop blowing down the street in April. What is he talking about? Good morning to you, Gemini. Paul, it's been great to catch up with you. Final words of advice then on somebody approaching this situation. There's no point getting your knickers in a twist or your panties in a bunch about this, is there? Or whatever the Yorkshire phrase is. What is the Yorkshire phrase for calm down?
We don't have a calm down. We're always excited.
That's true, isn't it? You're like, shut the cake oil, shut the cake oil.
You're in Portugal, you're living here, you've seen how the system works. Everything slows down. Don't let the blood pressure go up. It will work out. Just do what you're supposed to do in the time frame that you're given it, and that's it. And relax. And go to the bar and have a nice little drink.
Paul Richards, I think Portugal's worked its magic on you. I don't think you'd have been quite that free and easy 5 years ago when we had our first conversations, right?
Absolutely not. But I was working then and under pressure. I ain't under pressure here.
Yes, I think your face did get occasionally red back in those days, but not anymore, or for different reasons now.
You get one bite at life. Enjoy it.
Oh, what a brilliant note to end on, Paul. See you in 5 years.
Take care, my mate. Regards to the family.
Lovely. And to Susan, take care, mate. Bye for now. Ciao. Superb. We'll see. I'm sure we'll see him before then. But 2030 is the next. Do you know? Can you imagine how much the world will have changed by then? Portugal 2030. That's our theme for next year. In the last few minutes of today's show, we're going to be talking to Nick Burrell again. Let's bring him on now. Always lovely to talk to Nick.
Hello.
Nick, have you got your guitar ready?
And a coffee. It's morning time.
Bless you. It's practice time, is it? This is how you start your days with your van, isn't it?
It is actually. Yeah, that's true.
Fantastic. How are you? And where are you?
Now I'm on the south coast. I don't actually know where I am, but I'm not very far from Faro. I'm like a little bit west, a little bit west of Faro.
Oh, okay. So you're going towards the wilder side and away from Spain. What are you finding? Are you enjoying yourself, finding new things here in Portugal?
Yeah, very much. Last night we had a band party. I was parked in this. Maybe I'll show you. Hang on. I can do that.
That'd be great. And it's so funny to hear you use the phrase South Coast, because when I hear South Coast, I think of like your native Brighton and like Worthing and places like that. Look at him. This is where he is now.
And that's the van there.
Yeah, superb. Look at this. Where have all the other van party people gone?
I parted them out. Now there weren't many of us, to be fair.
Right.
There was like 3 vans or something. But I got a knock on the door. There was quite fun music playing. And just a kind of good vibe going on. And then I had a knock, and I was just making some dinner. And then I had a knock on the door, and this very sweet German kid, I got 25 or something, with a hilarious moustache, which is back in fashion at the moment, said like, "Hi, we are having party. You want to come to our party?" I was like, "That was very sweet." I said, "That was very sweet. Yeah, why not?" So I went, and there were about 5 of them there, 5 or 6. It wasn't a huge party, but it was very fun. He had his van was like unbelievably pumped up. He had like spent £7,000 or 7,000 euros on his stereo system. It was like amazing. It was like, cool. And the other van, they had 2 dogs and a cat with a cat flap in the van, and the cat was coming in out the cat flap, which was amazing. And then what was the other funny thing? He said that, and there was 4 vans including me, and one of them was this slightly older lady. I mean, probably my age. I know, a bit older than me, maybe 60. And she, they'd knocked on her door and said, "Do you want to come to the party?" Right? And she said, "Oh no, I don't think I will. You know, because my husband's sleeping and it's getting late." So he went back to his van and put Supertramp on.
Oh, really? To lure her out?
Yeah, and it lured her out. She came out going, "Oh, Supertramp."
Fantastic. He must have done that before, right?
Yeah, it totally worked. I was like, that's hilarious. So yeah, if you want to get an older couple out of a van,
Did the husband did the husband get out of bed as well for that?
No,
for Supertramp? Okay.
no, not even for Supertramp. There you go.
Wow. Can you imagine that must be quite difficult if you're an old giffer, just in hoping to enjoy the quiet beauty of the Algarve, and then a German kid turns up with a moustache and a €7,000 sound system. It's probably not what
Lures your wife out of the van with Supertramp.
your wife out the van with Supertramp. It's like something. It's a modern, like, grim fairy tale, isn't it?
It could go wrong. Yeah, it was fun. It was nice. I played a few songs, hung out, had a few Coca-Colas.
Yes, you do. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fantastic. So what else have you been up to? Because it's lovely to check in with you and you know, to celebrate the van life. We can have a vicarious van life with you.
You can,
a lot of people fancy it, don't they? But they don't ever really get down to it. And the camper van we bought and came into Portugal, that was enough for me, I have to say. But you know, you're absolutely loving it, and it's fantastic to get your videos and see where you end up and so on. So what have you experienced and what you've been up to in the last few days since we saw you?
Well, it's been really nice. I've been mostly on the south coast. I flew back to England briefly for a party. That's how jet set I am. Yeah.
Rock and roll, man.
Pretty rock and roll. I parked up in Faro and got a £17 flight back to the UK.
Crazy,
Amazing,
isn't it?
Yeah. I went for a couple of days for a party and then flew back, which felt great. And the van was just there. It was really cool. So the whole thing cost me about 30 quid. It cost me about 150 quid getting on the trains around London.
Of course it does, yeah.
Not quite that much, but you know, much more money getting around London than getting to London, bizarrely. But anyway.
Yep.
And then otherwise I've been sort of on the south coast. I've been doing a few little gigs, not huge things, but little bits. And I'm making videos now. So the album that I made as in the van last time is now at the kind of final stages. It's gone up to Spotify and all that kind of business.
Yep.
But I'm not fully pushing it yet because there's some marketing company that I'm using that are going to do fancy things that I don't really understand. But what I am going to do, I'm making little videos now, and so I'm for about 4 or 5 of the songs I'm going to draw, and I'll send you them when they're finished. Hopefully I'll get one done on Saturday. I'm hand drawing little kind of animations. They're not really animations. I just draw the picture. They're more like cartoon books. They move. The pictures move across the screen, you know. Anyway, it's super cute. And so I'm doing that and doing quite a lot of running and meditation.
Oh, living the dream. Living the dream.
Yeah, and that'll keep me going till Christmas. That little business. I mean, that entrepreneurship.
And you are on Bandcamp. We had a little exchange of messages. It's Bandcamp Friday tomorrow.
Right.
You're on there, aren't you? With previous work.
Yeah.
Over on Bandcamp, and this is a great opportunity to support independent musicians and artists, isn't it? Over there, you principally, of course, people can buy your lovely album with Little Blackbird. Thank you for your permission on that as well to use it as a podcast intro. I feel really bad like taking a tiny little segment of a whole beautiful song, and I do urge people to have a listen to this lovely album here and Little Blackbird that's on there. 10 tracks. Fantastic album. And Bandcamp Friday, really impressive. Bandcamp have helped musicians quite wonderfully, haven't they? How do you find it as your experience as a musician using it? So your music?
Yeah, I mean, the tragic thing, I mean, every single musician will say the same thing, that what Spotify promises to be is not. Bandcamp is what Spotify promised to be. Bandcamp actually gives, if people used Bandcamp instead of Spotify, generally, you know, hardly anyone uses it and everyone uses Spotify.
Yeah.
And Spotify just rips everyone off and doesn't pay anyone anything. And Bandcamp provides exactly the same service, but gives people proper. You could live on it if everybody was, you know, listening to Bandcamp. Yeah. And it sort of it treat you, the whole situation between you and the streaming services you feel sort of, it really supports artists in a proper way. And that's why pretty much every artist always says, oh, Bandcamp's great, use but people just use Spotify. That's just unfortunately how it is. So, and Spotify just take all the money and sort of, they do, unfortunately, to a point of sort of ludicrousness, with Bandcamp.
It's unnecessarily greedy, isn't it?
Well, it's crazy because it's clearly not needed, because Bandcamp do exactly the same thing and pay everyone. To give you an example, if you sell an album on Spotify, if you do it through, I think you get like a penny out of your £10 or whatever it is. Whereas Bandcamp, you get £9 out of your £10. So they take a fee for running the whole thing, which is fine. But it's really reasonable. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I would urge people tomorrow, because there's a further deal, I think, isn't there? Bandcamp Friday gives you, I think they give all the money to the artist, don't they? That's how it works.
Okay.
Yeah, right. And they don't take anything. I mean, what do they have to do to make it a great service for artists that people would actually use? I don't know. Some people are in the habit. I know there are people in this community who do. When they hear music on the Good Morning Portugal show, they go to the Bandcamp and they support the artists they've heard. It's not a lot of money you're paying out. I mean, if you compare it to what your album's €10, isn't it? On there, the CD 30 years ago was $13.99 or something, wasn't it? Back in the day. Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, it's okay. The thing is, you can kind of drive yourself mad with it. Like, it's just the world we live in at the moment. You know what I mean?
True.
So you sort of, there's pluses and minuses. Years and years ago, when I was like 16, my first job, I worked in a recording studio in London. It was the Who's recording studio, actually. Pete Townsend.
Which one's that? Which one is it?
It was called September Sounds. It was in Richmond, and it was owned by the Who, specifically Pete Townsend. It was a great studio, but it was being sublet by a band called the Cocteau Twins.
Yep, remember them? Yeah,
the 90s, and I used to work for them in the studio for a while. And
did you?
Yeah, for Robin, and I forget the other names now. But anyway, that was my first kind of job before university. I worked in the studio, loved it. But anyway, I remember having this chat with them at the time, and they were sort of saying, oh, if only it was possible for us to just record our music and release it and not have a record label. They kept going on about it. They were like, because they were like, well, we recorded these songs and then we can't, like, what they were suffering from. I remember it really well. They were suffering that they would record stuff. They had to go through the record label. So they would take the stuff to the record label. The label would say, no, we're not releasing them, and just put it on a shelf. And so the stuff they really wanted to express themselves with would get stuck on shelves in, they were the Domino, I think. Anyway, whoever. And it was really like, that was their struggle. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Absolutely.
And, fast forward sort of 10 years, I remember when MySpace first came out, I remember I had a little home studio. In one day, I was working in a special needs school then, but I had Fridays off. And I used to, on Friday was my music day, and I'd go in, I'd try and write and record a song in a day and put it out onto MySpace, what it was called.
Mein Kampf.
That's
the big difference.
Yeah, I was writing these sort of Nazi songs at the time.
Yeah.
And so Mein Kampf. Anyway, MySpace. So I it's because I had this German party last night. That's what did it. No,
it is. Yeah. Totally understandable.
I put it on. I went in the studio one day and I wrote this song in the morning, or sort of wrote and recorded it at the same time, put it up on MySpace. Someone in California, some radio station in California said, oh, we really like this. Can we play this on our show? And I said, sure. So I sent them like a WAV file or whatever directly. And they were playing it in California in their show that evening. So, I mean, completely mental. That whole process would have taken at least a year previously. And maybe would have never happened. So,
and it would have had all the parasites. Yeah, it would have had all the supply chain in the middle, making decisions and changing things as well.
100%. I mean, on the downside, I didn't make any money out of that. But
it's quite a downside.
It's quite a downside.
You need
a bit
Paul
of a
Richards. And
downside.
you need Paul. Paul is enchanted, I think, by Tales from the Algarve. You're his virtual neighbour at the moment.
Oh,
You
yeah.
need a manager. You need a manager like Paul Richards, I think, to make sure that sort of thing doesn't happen. Couple
Yeah.
of questions for you. We need to wrap up, really, but I'm sure we'll see you again. I hope we will, and I'm looking forward to playing more of your music. How does Nick register for an address in Portugal? Maybe he doesn't need to, but the part of the comment here from Adrian, I love Naughty Michelle and her passion for Bandcamp in America Pie. That's a different Bandcamp, I think, that we're talking about there.
Oh, yeah. See, people don't even know what it is.
No, indeed, yeah. But obviously some happy memories for Adrian. So I don't want to put you on the spot, Nick, but are you playing us out this morning? Are you? Or...
I can play you a song.
Oh,
I'll play you a
bless
song.
you.
This guitar's more or less in tune.
More or less. That's good
I'll
enough
play
for
you a
us.
song from an. Hey.
That's good enough for us. Thank you very much.
I'll play you a song from an old album, a couple of albums ago. I was just playing it a minute ago, so I'll do
Bless
that
you.
one.
All right. Well, I'll say goodbye to everybody and to you, and we'll see everyone in the morning with Tudor Ben Austin and Savvy Cat. Have a great day, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah.
And thanks, Nick. We'll talk to you again soon, I hope. Over to you.
Take care, Carl. How far will you run? Run for what makes you unhappy, yeah. You could be the one. Be the one who makes a change. Be the one that lives a good life. Be the one that makes a sacrifice. Be the one that lives with open eyes, open to every man. Be the one that understands. 'Cause everyone feels hunger. And everyone feels cold. And everyone feels something's wrong. And they don't listen to their soul. Do it right, do it right, do it right, do it right, it's your choice. Sing it right, sing it right, sing it right, sing it right, it's your voice. Do it right, do it right, do it right, do it right, it's your choice. Sing it right, sing it right, sing it right, sing it right, it's your voice. How much will it cost? And can I feel the time? All those things you hold on to so tight, they're just in your fright of mind. Be the one that gives it all away. Be the one that works but not for pay. Be the future you dream of today. Don't just sit around and pray. Be the words you say. Do it right, do it right, do it right, do it right, it's your choice. Sing it right, sing it right, sing it right, sing it right, it's your voice. Do it right, do it right, do it right, do it right, it's your choice. Sing it right, sing it right, sing it right, sing it right, it's your voice. Oh, do it right, do it right, do it right, do it right, it's your choice. Sing it right, sing it right, sing it right, sing it right, it's your voice. Oh, do it right, do it right, do it right, do it right, it's your choice. Sing it right, sing it right, sing it right, sing it right, it's your voice. Don't just sit around and pray. Be the words you say.
You total legend, Nicholas Burrell, everybody. Buy his album on Bandcamp, especially tomorrow, Bandcamp Friday. Cheers, Nick. Cheers, everyone. Have a great day.
Bye, guys.
In Portugal, there's a YouTube show full of fun facts you need